And we're joined now from our newsroom by Ruth Walmsley, a Burnaby resident who's long been opposed to the project. Ruth, thanks very much for being with us.
You're welcome.
Well, you've said it before. How about you say it again? Can you please outline for us why you are so opposed to this project?
Well, I'm a member of Burnaby residents opposing Kinder Morgan expansion, and we've been working for the last 2.5 years to raise awareness in the community about the risks which this pipeline poses to our community and indeed to the world.
Now, do you think that your voices are being heard, given what's been happening over the past week?
I think that it's starting to be heard more. We had an amazing turnout of people up on the mountain yesterday. I would say probably 400 or 500 people showed up at the time when the injunction was due to be enforced, and there was an amazing spirit of people expressing concern and opposition to the project.
Now, they're there expressing their concern, but there's still an injunction obtained by Kinder Morgan, and they could be arrested at any time.
That's true. That's true. But I think that their resolve is very strong, and I think that their spirits have been greatly buoyed by the show of support that people have been displaying for what's happening up there.
Now, Ruth, how many people do you think would be willing to go to jail over this?
I really can't speak for other people. I know that there are a lot of people who feel very strong. It's a very individual decision. We're not advising people one way or the other. I think it's a question of people's personal conscience. And I know for a lot of people, there's a line here that we feel we feel compelled to take a stand at this point for our future and for the future of our children, future generations.
Now, Ruth, for some people who may not, be so familiar with Burnaby Mountain or the area, can you describe to us how the expansion of the Kinder Morgan pipeline would impact Burnaby Mountain?
Well, at the moment, it is impacting in terms of, the clear cutting of trees that has happened and the boring of boreholes, and then if the pipeline is approved down the road, there would be a tunnel for the pipeline which would be bored straight through the mountain. So obviously that is a concern. It's a conservation area. It's a sensitive area. There are bears and many other wildlife living in the area. However, I think for many of us the concern is much larger than that. If this pipeline project is allowed to proceed, it will cause a significant expansion of the tar sands. It will result in 3 times as much bitumen being shipped through the pipeline, through our neighborhoods, through our watersheds. And indeed, there would be about 10 times as many tankers going through our coastal waters if this pipeline is allowed to proceed. And Vancouver was recently, once again, ranked the 4th most livable city in the world. And it would only take one major oil spill to completely impact our ecosystem for many generations to come, and that's a risk that we're not prepared to take.
Right, so really the work that's being done by Kinder Morgan right now could have far-reaching implications.
Oh, absolutely, there's no question.
So the city of Burnaby will be in court tomorrow arguing for leave to appeal the Supreme Court's decision and for a temporary injunction against Kinder Morgan.
That's right.
So how do you think that's going to go?
Well, we can always hope for the best. I know that the city is doing everything they possibly can, and the fact that Mayor Corrigan and his entire council received an overwhelming victory in the election this past weekend. I believe they received about 69% of the vote, which is very similar to the number of people in Burnaby that are opposed to the pipeline. I believe a poll a little while ago showed that 70% of Burnaby residents are opposed to the pipeline.
Mm-hmm. Now, I hate to be cynical, but you are up against an energy giant.
That's true, but I have to say that the power of the people united is, I think, going to be stronger than the ability of Kinder Morgan to proceed with this pipeline.
So you're definitely in for the long haul.
We're in it for the long haul, absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you, Ruth.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
That's Ruth Walmsley, a Burnaby resident.